Start recording.
Welcome to It's On Halifax with your hosts, Mark Adam and Pat King. It's On Halifax is brought to you by Maladjusted Media and Oasis on Spring Garden Road.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of It's On Halifax. I don't know why, but Pat was literally just smelling his own foot.
Yeah, never mind. Although I did like how you kind of gave me the nod to do the introduction this time.
I was like,
that was nice of you.
You were excited, and then,
Yeah,
but you were
like,
busy.
hello.
You were busy sniffing your own fucking foot, like
This is my knee area, more or less. My
Well,
pants, to
that's-
be exact.
for cat pee. Speaking of
Yeah.
which, there's a cat on me. You're babysitting a cat that's apparently a dick.
Yeah, the cat's that I'm babysitting a cat that's not fixed, and it's
heat?
been peeing everywhere, and it's in heat, and I haven't been able to sleep, and I've been sleeping on the couch because it pissed all over my bed, and apparently it peed on the pants that I was wearing last night. So I'm pretty sure the cat just started peeing on me while I'm asleep. So, yeah. I'm at a bit of a loss and frustrated and frazzled because now I can't sleep.
How long do you have to keep this cat?
I don't know. My friend whose cat it is in the city right now.
I'd be giving that the fuck back.
Yeah, see, it's been very frustrating and it's causing a strain in our relationship, I think.
I can imagine. I can imagine.
Because I took it on the grounds that she was moving to Ontario. But that didn't happen, and, she got broken up with, and it was a huge spiel, and it was super shitty what happened, but she's not in Ontario, she's actually in the city, and she's moving back to the city next month, and I'm still taking care of her cat who just pees on me, straight up. Like, it's not even... It's not even a thing now.
Can you fire that on the ground? We're without Emily today, so
Or what on the ground? Can I actually just,
monitor.
fire it?
No, just set it down nicely because that's...
Happy birthday to the ground!
Yeah. So, like I said, we're without Emily today, so a couple of things might happen. We might lose track of time, which is always fun. And what else might happen?
That.
We might lose track of what we're talking about. You say an on-topic might be an issue. I feel like today is going to be the tangent episode, where we just start talking about something and go left.
What?
How did we end up here?
Yeah. But those are fun. I mean, you can see it's like playing the Wikipedia game where you start on one article and you have to end on another. You never know how you're going to get there, but it's the journey that counts.
The YouTube game is what more people, I think, would associate with that because of the related videos, and YouTube's a lot shorter. So, like, you watch a 1-minute video of a cat dancing and singing, somebody like making a cat dance and
see if you can get to fat guy doing soccer ball tricks.
Or like all of a sudden you're like, some people like gets progressively more serious until all of a sudden they're like, we have to save the planet. Like, what you started by watching cat videos.
Yeah.
How did you get here?
See if you can get from a llama biting somebody to the speech from the end of the Charlie Chaplin movie, The Dictator. Just like go from one profound thing to stupid and back and forth.
Which, by the way, is probably the most inspiring speech ever.
Yeah, it's pretty well one of the most important things ever committed to film.
I agree.
Yeah.
Wholeheartedly.
It got him kicked out of the country.
I'm only bringing this up because I saw it yesterday, but the speech in Independence Day is also pretty motivating. Not quite as epic.
Yeah, motivating.
But it's pretty motivating.
Yeah, that's fucking get me hyped.
Yeah, I know. Like, I was watching, I was like, oh my god, this movie's happening right now. It was on one of the channels on TV. Movie Time, I think. Anyway, doesn't matter what channel, but it was on, and I was watching it, and I'm like, that's a fucking good speech.
Yeah.
It's not, I mean, it's no Charlie Chaplin speech, but...
we should totally come up with a greatest movie speeches thing.
Oh, yeah, we could put together a little article, put it on the website.
That sounds like fun. The speech from Iron Man 1 that Robert Downey Jr. completely improvises about the Jericho missile as he's presenting it.
Oh, it's not a speech so much as a presentation, but it is epic
it's
because
a speech.
it's improv.
Yeah, but it's a
improvises
fucking
the whole
solid
thing.
speech. And that was the moment I was like, he's Tony Stark, and that's what everyone's going to remember him as, and I kind of feel sorry for him.
Well, he's done a lot of roles, and he had a history, and then he fucked up that history with his drug abuse and this and that. His rebirth as Tony Stark has got to be the best thing that's ever happened to him.
Just about.
Because he can now, people can go pre-drug Tony, or pre-drug Robert Downey Jr. I'm already calling him Toner. I'm calling him Tony out of reflex now, but his name is Robert Downey Jr.
So before the drugs, he won an Oscar for playing Charlie Chaplin, and then after the drugs, is making $53 million a pop playing Iron Man.
But is he ever playing Iron Man?
Yeah.
Without any spoilers, I thought he a little bit overdid it in Iron Man 3, but the whole movie was kind of a little bit over the top.
Well, I mean, it's the third of a trilogy. They
definitely used the comic book go big or go home for the finale kind of.
Well, and now you've laid down the groundwork. You know the origin stories. They've covered all the ground that they needed to get everybody introduced, and now they're into the superhero-y stuff. And the superhero-y stuff is what gets the Marvel Universe rebooted, because shit just goes way over the top, and they have to be like, all right, we got to tone it down. Let's destroy the universe and start fresh.
Or Tony down.
Oh, get out of here.
Okay.
Tony Danza.
Hold me closer, Tony Danza.
Yeah. Well, I saw a preview for Joseph Gordon-Levitt's new movie and his first directorial outing. Don John. Tony Danza's going to be supporting, and apparently he just kills it.
What?
Yeah, boy.
I have no idea. We're going to look that up after.
I'm really excited for this movie. It's Scarlett Johansson and Joseph Gordon-Levitt starring, and he plays this jacked up Guido who's addicted to pornography, and she is a girl who watches too many romantic movies, and it talks about how both of those things work to create really negative stereotypes and things for relationships and really fuck up people's interpersonal relationships. It's a passion project for Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and I think it's going to be solid. But
speaking of,
I'm biased because I would suck that dude's dick.
Gross. Speaking of, and I'm saying gross for me. If you like sucking dick, go nuts. But
no. It's not that I like it. It's just that it's Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Well. Speaking of Mr. Levitt, I watched a movie that I didn't even remember that he was in yesterday. Well, I watched bits and pieces of it. G.I. Joe, Rise of Cobra.
Yeah, played Cobra Commander.
Yeah, and it never occurred to me until...
Well, it's because he was under, 2 inches of prosthetics.
Well, for most of it, yeah, but they had all the flashbacks with him, and... All right, Mr. Science Officer, you're up. So they... I forgot that he was in that.
Have you watched Brick yet?
No, I haven't.
Son of a
I downloaded
bitch.
it because you told me to.
I know.
And I have
every
yet
time
to watch
I'm here,
it.
I tell you to watch it.
You know what I did download yesterday?
Bullet to the Head.
Bullet to the Head.
I'm psyched.
I want to see this so bad.
I want to see Sly Stallone and Jason Momoa fucking go at it with fire axes.
What are we, Vikings?
Yes.
Yes, you are. Yeah, so I'm really stoked for that. That's really exciting to me. That said, why don't we go through our Facebook updates for the week? Get that out of the way.
Because we love movies. We could talk about movies all day.
We really could. That could be one of those left turns that we never come back from.
Yeah. Well, going to be spending the rest of the day making them because we have a recording session for the bottom, and I think we're going to put together the opening title credits later on tonight, Kevin and I. That should be good. Little movie making.
Good.
Hooray.
We discussed Fitch the Homeless last week, which was pretty good, and there was some...
Well, and there's been a little news since then that they saw 13% of a drop in their quarterly profits.
Good.
Although that was even before Fitch the Homeless as a campaign came out.
Oh, yeah, wait.
The
quarterly review for this quarter won't be in.
Exactly. But those first quarter losses at 13% were from apparently some... stocking issues or something like that, merchandising issues. So I can only imagine what the losses are going to look like for the second quarter.
I would be stoked if we could make the losses happen.
Oh, yeah.
As a collective group.
I think it's probably going to be pushing 20%.
That said, there's a picture on our Facebook page, if you go back to right around where last week's episode was posted. It's a guy he's got a tattoo, and it's basically a tattoo on the inside of his thigh that is a big veiny dick.
Classy.
Yeah. So it looks like his dick is hanging out of his shorts.
Wonderful. I regret the tattoo artist who actually had to do that. I feel sorry for the guy.
Yeah. Fair enough. That said, the caption on it was kind of funny. It said he lost his actual dick in Nam, which is funny. But what is the most? We'll put it out to you guys. What is the most fucked up tattoo you've ever seen?
Because there's plenty on the internet, but personally, I haven't seen all that many. I do know some friends who were at the Halifax Tattoo Festival last week, though. And
that was another reason I wanted to sort of bring it up.
I'm sure we could have found a lot of very interesting tattoos.
What we should have done was shown up and got a bunch of pictures.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
Next year.
Yeah.
Next year. We'll remember next year. But I just thought, I really want to know what is either the best or the worst tattoo you've ever seen. Concept and practice. Because sometimes it's a wicked looking tattoo, but you're just like, what that means is awful.
Or it's a great idea for a tattoo.
But it was so poorly done.
The execution is just fuck.
It's like, well, instead of paying a real tattoo artist, I just got my brother who happens to, he did prison tats.
That's what I did with my Pac-Man tattoo.
You prison tatted?
No, but a friend of mine bought a tattoo gun off of eBay, and I was the second person he'd ever touched with it.
Hey, you got to get your start somewhere.
That's true. I was like, you know what? How bad could you fuck it up? It's like it's a
bunch of dots.
It's a 3/4 circle and a bunch of dots. And it honestly it faded a little bit, but I was happy with it because an actual tattoo artist would have cost me over 100 and something obscene, like $160.
And that's for like a single color wraparound, right?
Exactly.
That's ridiculous. But anyway, I just thought that was kind of a neat little picture, and
it's always dicks with you.
It was just fucked up. Speaking of dicks, I mean wieners. Processed meat declared too dangerous for human consumption. The World Cancer Research Fund recently completed a detailed review of a whole bunch of clinical studies. Processed meats such as hot dogs, sausages, bologna, and the worst, bacon. Bacon's on the list. Basically, are directly linked to causing cancer.
Oh yeah.
And not in the if you eat enough of these, you'll get
just straight up by degrees. Like how much processed meat you eat equals how much cancer you are likely to get.
Yes. Your
direct correlation.
Yeah, and it's not a good ratio.
Well, I don't eat a lot of processed meat, especially
I have hot dogs in my fridge right now because I just got a barbecue last week, so I've been barbecuing every day.
Well, you know what that means is that you just have to go out of your way to find meats that aren't processed. Go down to the farmer's market or Pier 21, and there's a couple of butchers down there.
There's Maple Leaf does make a product that's sold in the major grocery stores that's all organic and stuff. It just costs 3 times what the non-organic costs.
No,
right?
you're way better off going to one of the local butchers, because really you're paying as much for fresh, unfrozen meat as you would be at the grocery store. It was nuts how impressed I was with the pricing last time I went down there.
Do you know anywhere to go? Shout outs, because local Halifax people want to know.
Oh, I can't off the top of my head. I can't remember.
Is there one in Pete's?
I'm not sure. The one butcher that I've gone to was they're pretty much a staple down at Pier 21 at the market.
Okay.
They have a big
it's like
shop front.
Just go to the farmer's market.
Exactly. And they've been good to me the few times that I've gone. We looked for beef ribs at one point because we could never find them in the grocery store. It was actually last year for our Super Bowl party. We went and got almost an entire rack of beef ribs and probably something obscene 3 pounds of bacon, and we ate like kings that day. It was a true Super Bowl party. You'd have loved it.
I'm jealous.
I made a chili. One of the main ingredients is just bacon grease.
Well, see, the issue with I can never go to a Super Bowl party because I work in a sports bar.
Yeah,
it's never gonna happen.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
Yeah, well, not really. I make a bunch of money and I get to watch the game.
Yeah,
right. And the best was the year I was bartending and the Green Bay Packers won the Super Bowl. That was awesome.
Hooray!
It was so good. That was a pretty awesome day. That said, let's move on here. There was... Oh! A friend of mine, Sarah, just started a brand new podcast.
Ooh.
Yeah, with her friend Jessie.
Competition. Should I...
Well, it's a video. It's a 5-minute video web series, quote unquote.
So I don't have to burn their microphone to the ground? No, I mean...
No.
Just kidding.
You do not need to Tanya Harding either of them.
Okay.
So, but it's called Oh My Lanta. You should definitely check it out. You can follow them on Twitter. O, as in OH, My Lanta JS is their Twitter handle.
As in the commercials from the 90s about diarrhea medicine?
I think so. But you know how like that saying is, Oh My Lanta? Like, I don't know why they picked that as a name, but they did.
Neither do I.
You could ask them. You could go to their Facebook page.
Somebody's going to get sued.
But they got a YouTube channel. Oh My Lanta. Follow them there. There's a link to their first video on our Facebook page, so you can find it there. And that was posted on May 22nd, so if you're looking through the timeline, that's where you need to go. But definitely check them out. Very funny. Their first episode was about how guys and girls, like how a guy and a girl can be best friends, as long as neither one of them have feelings for each other or something like that. Like
that's
and they explained like
obvious. She's
my brovery and he's my broski, which I think are stupid names, but it's funny. But the video is it's well done. It's very short, to the point, and entertaining. So I look forward to more of their little updates.
I'm gonna have to watch that because I think it's a very interesting topic. Anyway, the topic of men and women and friendships. It's a very difficult thing.
Yeah. Yep. And if Emily was here, she'd be like circling the thing with the mouse right now.
Yeah.
So we're going to move on to the next subject.
Right.
Remember that she's not here to keep us on track.
But the thought of her is keeping us on track.
I know. We should tweet her.
We should. We'll do that later.
Bombard her with text messages whilst we're...
At her new Twitter handle.
Her new Twitter handle, EMJHFX. So it's like MJHFX. It's almost... We're getting there. We're
close
getting
enough.
Closer. Hey, it's better than...
I call that a victory.
The letters MJ _979. Like, what the... Anyway. She's changed it. We can let it go.
Yes. Okay. Yes, we can.
All right. There was a story in Halifax last week. The police released... the Halifax Regional Police released a press release saying that there was a hitman scam targeting Halifax cell phones. So what was happening was they were getting called randomly, and on the other end was somebody saying, "I've been hired to kill you. Someone took a hit out on you, and unless you pay me X number of dollars, I'm going to kill you."
Wow.
Yeah. And basically this whole thing came out like... the hitman's like, "I'm going to kill you," and the police are like, "Ignore that. It's not real."
just
and what it says at the bottom of the article is it's highly unlikely that anyone is in danger.
Yeah, I would say highly unlikely is a good word.
Not it's like this is fake, it's a scam. It's highly unlikely that you're going to die.
How did they plan to get the money? Like
they wired
Western
offshore.
Union them
offshore.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's very like something out of a fucking TV show, right?
I would have given them the Taken speech. I don't know who you are, but I will find you. And I will kill you.
I do not have money. What I do have is a very particular set of skills.
Fuck those guys. I should be like, "You're gonna kill me? Motherfucker, I will stab you in the neck."
A story from Australia?
Oh, I love Aussies, man.
I know, me too. Especially when they have stories like they're right out of Florida. So,
I totally do smell like cat pee. I can't believe a cat peed on me. I'm so angry right now. Anyway, please keep going.
I'm not a cat, and I'm tempted to pee on you sometimes. And not even in a sexual way. Anyway, so, there's a Tasmanian father. He's from Tasmania in Australia. He set up a video camera in his house to record paranormal activity. He had cameras all over his house trying to record ghosts to try and get on some ghost show that they have there in Australia.
Already smells like nuts.
Yeah, well, that's not the nuts part. The part is what he actually ends up videotaping.
Which is?
Which is his son fucking his girlfriend. Like, this guy, like, clearly has gotten divorced and is now living with his new, not wife, but they're not married yet, but his girlfriend. But they've lived together for, like, I forget if the article said 8 or 10 years or something.
So the son was fucking the guy's girlfriend.
Yes, and he's, like, 17 or something, or... Anyway.
Boo, motherfucker.
Yeah. Cougar. But anyway, the video, I guess the video shows... I didn't get to see the video. It's not shared anywhere. It's clearly going through a lot of court procedures.
You're right.
But basically, apparently she went in to talk to him about some school-related thing or something, and there was tickling involved, and then all of a sudden there was kissing, and then they fucked.
Went down under.
Yeah, exactly.
Ow.
Nice, well done. But I guess that they had sex a couple of times, and after this whole scandal broke out, he kicked her out, and then the kid visited her in a hotel, and they fucked a couple more times. Anyway, so she's getting sued by the dad for statutory rape or something, because the father is, like, the kid's not old enough to speak for himself or whatever.
Oh, that's interesting.
I'm not sure how it works legally in Australia, but he's, like, suing for that, and yeah, like, that's a fucked up story. So imagine your dad's a crazy son of a bitch who thinks that there's ghosts in his house, so he's filming that, and then he catches you boinking your stepma. Like,
see, and he could have just avoided all of this if he had just realized that ghosts aren't real.
Anyway, but then his son would still be boinking his woman.
Yeah, well, I mean, there were skeletons in the closet.
Aww.
Because family secrets.
Yes, I get it. I think that was pretty much, other than the concert coming up Friday, which is awesome.
Plug it.
I will. Which is getting some good press. Canadian Beats did a really good article about it. Chaos Theory has been in a couple of articles very recently as well, featuring, and I have mentioned the article. It's on Live 105. It's going to be advertised all week. It's the Live with Live showcase featuring Oceans Will Rise, Chaos Theory, and Devil's Elbow. And I'm very excited for the show. I've done shows with Devil's Elbow before. They're awesome. I haven't personally been involved in shows with Oceans Will Rise and Chaos Theory, but I've seen them play, and I've heard them, like, any music I haven't seen them play, I heard on Reverb Nation, and I'm just really, really excited to see all three of those bands. And the way the night's going to work too is it's going to start with Devil's Elbow, who are hard rock, and then move to Chaos Theory, who are harder rock, crossing that line every once in a while into metal. And then there's Oceans Will Rise, which is like melodic metal, like it's metal. So it's like progressively harder as the night goes on.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see that all go down. And that's Friday night. Starts at 10 o'clock. And if you come down, Live 105 will be there giving out t-shirts and little prizes and shit. So you definitely want to be down there. It's $8 for cover. And that's it. That's the deal. So that's being put on by Live 105, Oasis, and Maladjusted Media.
You could do worse. $8 for 3 bands.
And, well, yeah, it's cool. The first line in the article is, "Are you in Halifax or surrounding area? Well, if you are, you should check out this show, May 31st at Oasis." And the title of the article is "The Rockingest Concert Around."
Woo!
Which I appreciate.
Rockingest, yeah, that's high praise.
Well, I appreciate that they would say that. So that's that plug out of the way. What else have we got going on here? Man, my cat is going nuts right now.
Yeah, I know.
I think he smells the cat pee and he's just losing his mind.
Probably.
You shouldn't wear cat pee.
I shouldn't wear cat pee, no, I know.
It's not a good smell.
No, I know.
You're not going to pick up chicks.
Pheromones or something is science, I guess.
Science!
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm trying new things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Call it Sex Panther.
Sex Panther. That. Yeah.
It's a cologne now.
It is it. Is it?
60% of the time, it works every time.
Ron Burgundy 2 is being made right now.
I know. There's a teaser out for it already.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's very
haven't
short.
seen it.
It's not actually a preview. There's no footage or anything out, but it's looking good.
I'll have to check it out on the break.
See,
Senor.
which we are moving towards.
We are. I was thinking we could do a quick talk about the Mooseheads tonight.
Sure.
Because the Mooseheads are playing at 8 o'clock this evening for the Memorial Cup. I'm very excited. I'm a huge Moose fan, as most of you are aware. They are showing it outside at Grand Parade tonight.
Oh, wow.
But also, Oasis is showing it. And it was mentioned in the paper Friday that Oasis will be showing the game. So I'm imagining a lot of Moose fans are going to be down at Oasis, gathering to watch the game and to hang out with other Moose fans. And since we don't get the luxury of doing it at the Metro Center,
Cheer on the home team anyway.
Yeah. So it's very fun. They are playing against the Portland Winterhawks. So it's basically the toughest team they've had to play all year.
Like Portland, Oregon?
Yeah.
Weird.
They're the one American team in the CHL.
Huh.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing.
It is a thing. It is a thing. Which is what led to the anthem debacle for the first game. Right, because she only found out like 2 hours before the game that she had to sing the American national anthem as well as the Canadian national anthem.
If I were her, I would have just had the lyrics on my phone.
Yeah, but she's going to be on the top 10 for SportsCenter's top 10 anthem fails for years now.
Oh yeah,
because that was bad.
Yeah,
there were some bad ones in the past, but somebody just got bumped.
She didn't even get close to just a fraction of the words.
No, well, and there was another one that they showed from. She actually fucked up "O Canada." She got she got about halfway through, and it was a Team Canada. Team Canada was playing, like it wasn't an NHL game or something like. And she fucked up the lyrics. Said sorry, started over, fucked them up again, left. Somebody pumped her up and sent her back out, and she was all excited, and she stepped out onto the mat, and the mat slipped out from under her, and she slammed her head.
Oh wow, you could make an entire top 10 fails of just her, apparently.
It's pretty awesome.
Don't quit your day job, lady.
Man, everybody felt so bad.
Yeah, you would.
I forget her name. But anyway, it was...
So will history.
Yeah, well, no, it may never, which is not a good thing, necessarily. But anyway, the Moose, tonight, 8 o'clock, for the Memorial Cup, which, in my opinion, is the hardest trophy in sports to win.
Why?
Well, because not only do you have to make the playoffs in your league, like the QMJHL, for instance, you have to win the playoffs in your league. Right? You have to make it all the way through the playoffs.
Okay.
And then, if you win that, you get invited to the Memorial Cup tournament against the other two teams who also won their respective leagues. So you're playing the top three, it's the top 3 teams plus the host. And then you have a tournament that way to win the Memorial Cup. They've already won the President's Cup, which is a pretty difficult, that's on par with the Stanley Cup.
Okay.
Right? That's, you win your league, you win the playoffs, then you get the cup. That's the Stanley Cup. The Memorial Cup is if you took the Stanley Cup champion and the winner of the KHL and the Swiss Elite League, whoever wins all these leagues and then put them in a tournament and they have a cup. That would be the equivalent.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Should be good hockey.
A step beyond the Stanley Cup. Yeah. So that's why I'm pretty pumped for that.
You almost sold me on going to see it, and I don't even watch hockey.
Yeah, well, the thing about hockey is that it's built into Canadian pride. So it's tied to our own national self-esteem. And it's something that people love to watch and drink during. And it's
Canada. Pretty much everything is something we like to watch and drink during.
The difference is, when you watch a baseball game, you're basically just getting drunk.
Yeah, well, I mean...
Because there's nothing happening.
How else are you going to watch baseball?
But if you're watching... Well, fair. But if you're watching hockey, like, there's shit happening, and you're drinking and cheering, and it's, like, exciting all at the same time.
It really is. It's kind of exciting, yeah.
I find, and this is a personal opinion, I can't get into baseball. I work at a sports bar. I try every year to give a shit.
It's not a spectator sport. It's boring as fuck.
I also just recently figured out that I am not a basketball fan. I watched the Pacers and the Heat play the other day for game 1 of their series. Very exciting game. Like, it came down to the wire. They went to overtime, and then it came down to the wire again. Like, and it was like literally jumping up in the air, throwing the ball,
buzzer beater
kind of deal, right? And I just didn't care. Like, I just had no vested interest at all.
Nah. I'm the same way. I've never watched it. Again, playing it, though, I mean, all these sports. I had somebody ask me if I wanted to go out and play basketball, I think like a week ago. Bruce, actually, the guy that I write with pretty often, and I'm like, I don't even know if I would remember how to play basketball. I'm not even sure. But it looks like we're moving on to the break, and I could really use a refill of tea, and I feel like the second half of the show we could dedicate to another... some more Canadian pride with TJ Grant's performance last night I would like to talk about, and the new Xbox release announcements. I'd love to hear your thoughts on those. So
I watched the release today.
Okay.
So it's fresh in my mind, and we will talk about that when we get back from le break. So until then, we're going to play you some ads.
You want your special day to be just right, right? Well, so did I. I called Maladjusted Media, and all the little details took care of themselves. An audio-video setup, photographer, and even a videographer, all working as a team to capture the memories I cared about. Oh, and I saved a bundle by getting them all in the same place. You should try it.
Visit us online, maladjustedmedia.ca.
Oasis, epic sports pub, where you don't have to spend a lot to get a lot.
Word up! It was Bigfoot versus Cain Velasquez.
Oh, nice. Let's watch some highlights before we go back on. Yeah, because I fucking love Cain Velasquez. The guy's a machine.
Do you want a spoiler?
I'm just looking.
Show me the trailer for Anchorman 2.
There's no trailer available for Anchorman. The Legend of Ron Burgundy.
Oh.
Oh, what was the other trailer I wanted you to see? Fuck.
When is The Last Stand coming out? Like on DVD?
I have no idea.
Because that's the other one I want to see. That and Bullet to the Head were... What are you watching? Do you have it locked?
No.
Oh my god.
The fucking knockout punch is beautiful.
Yeah. Boom!
Beauty.
It's pretty much over. He gets up, but that boom.
Oh.
No, wait for it. He gets back up and eats the knee so hard. Boom!
Oh. I do not feel very envious of Gray Maynard right now.
I had no idea what was going on. He got fucking destroyed. I got video of because he comes to the Oasis to watch all the fights. You know who was at the bar last night? Roger Hollett.
Nice.
who lost last week on the UFC on FX, which is shitty. But
I would have shook that fucking man's hand though.
here he is here. That's actually Roger Hollett in the corner. But I circle the bar. This is the standing O they were giving. They were giving
TJ Grant.
yeah. That's Roger Hollett right there.
Awesome. Iron Mike.
That's submission of the night.
It's a good submission.
What was that was the fight of the night.
Junior Dos Santos.
Spinning back kick to the head, followed by a absolute bomb.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that it wasn't the Samoan who threw the kick. Oh my god, that overhand right was fucking.
He survived.
gnarly.
He survived all this. It was right.
Oh,
It's right.
overhand right. Oh, nice.
He's picking him apart. Made it out of the round. Boom. Hit him again. Wait for it. Wait for it. So good.
Oh,
Yeah, he almost had Dos
he's
Santos there for a
big
bit.
man there.
When he hits you, it's on. Like, wait
those
for
aren't-
it though.
Those aren't light punches. Oh, nice tag.
Boom! And not like stunned him and knocked him on the ground.
Oh,
But that wasn't even the knockout. Like, that was what stunned him and knocked him on the ground. But then he came down on top of him and just boom! And you saw his hands go like this. Like he was about to reach up, but then he got to hit him again.
just turned him off.
Yeah.
Bigfoot.
That fight did not last long.
Gonna go ahead and call this one for Cain Velasquez in the first round. Boom, boom, right down the pipeline. See, that's why I love Cain Velasquez. His discipline, his punching is fucking so good.
Yeah, it was super quick. But I mean, how do you not hit Bigfoot on the chin? Look at the size of that guy's chin. You aim for his gut, you're gonna hit him in the chin.
Yeah,
Anyway, it was pretty epic.
that's cool.
Right on.
And we're back.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's like, is he gonna do it? Is he gonna do it? And then he did it.
And hopefully, I'll learn to do it with less fanfare. As you know, I like to cheer. Yeah, I did it. Oh, wait, that's normal. That's what I'm supposed to do. Shit.
It's almost our job.
Can you tell I haven't been in broadcasting very long?
I can, but that's okay. I don't mind.
So during the break, we refilled our teas like little old ladies, and watched the highlights of last night's fight.
The UFC.
Yeah.
Local boy, TJ Grant, steals the show,
Yeah,
in
putting
my
Halifax
opinion.
on the map.
They couldn't make it the fight of the night because it was too short.
That's actually not such a bad thing.
Not if you're TJ Grant. It is if you're Gray Maynard.
Yeah.
It was short, and TJ basically owned him.
Yeah. Landed a lot of really clean punches. Yeah, he's a...
And it was funny because, like, right before the fight started, I was working last night, and some guy come up to me and he goes, "I don't think TJ has it in him. I don't think you can beat Gray Maynard." I'm like, "I think you're retarded."
Yeah, you're an idiot.
Yeah, you clearly do not know what you were speaking about.
He's an aggressive guy, TJ Grant. He moves forward. The guy is not afraid to just swing, and he's got a chin on him too. He's a tough motherfucker.
Yeah,
Because, I mean, he's Nova Scotian. Come on.
and the place went nuts.
No wonder.
Like, we're at the Oasis, like, because that's where he watches the fights.
Oh, yeah.
Right? When he's not actually training for a fight, he lives here. He's like, from Cole Harbour, and that's where he fights with Titan MMA, and he kicked the absolute shit out of Gray Maynard, and the whole bar erupted. They were standing O at the bar.
Yeah, because it wasn't really a flash KO. He put the knuckles to him for a good 30 seconds, and Maynard, to his credit, kept getting back up, mind you.
Well, until he took that devastating knee, he was kind of like, you could tell he was hurt. Like, there's no two ways about it. He was trying to escape to get some distance, right?
Yeah, but once you put yourself in that position where you're on the defensive and backing up against TJ Grant, you're kind of boned because he is going to be all over you.
Yeah, and he made every shot count. Absolutely every shot.
Something to be said for accuracy, man. And the main event, Cain Velasquez versus Bigfoot. You want to talk about punching accuracy, man? The guy Cain Velasquez laid out Bigfoot with that beautiful...
You can't miss Bigfoot's chin. You just can't.
It's like his whole face.
It is. He's got, like, gigantism, but only in his head. Like, he's a freak of nature.
He's a strange-looking guy. But Cain Velasquez threw just a clean 1-2 straight down the pipe.
The jab landed, and then as Bigfoot's bringing his face back around, he takes the right on the chin.
The clean 1-2 right down the middle, nailed him on the button, put his lights out. And I'm such a huge fan of Cain Velasquez as a fighter. He's super disciplined and really well-rounded. And just essentially dominating the division at this point.
Yeah, I mean... That title defense lasted less than a round.
Yeah.
Against Bigfoot.
Yeah. Yeah. Good times.
But fight of the night was Dos Santos with the spinning back kick to the head, knocking him on his ass.
Winning in spectacular fashion against the Kiwi. Yeah,
and then jumps and drops the bomb on his face.
I've never seen a worse... situation of getting a bomb dropped down. I remember when Michael Bisping lost his first fight, and I'm pretty sure it was against Shogun Rua. And
ever since then, he's been a punching bag, by the way, but continue.
And then that's why. Because he said, I wanted to shut him up, basically. Because he was undefeated at that point.
And Bisping is a huge dick trash talker.
Yes, but he got knocked the fuck out, and then the little... I'm sure it was Shogun who did it. Although, correct me if I'm wrong, but the way he jumped while Bisping was unconscious on his back, and just came down fist first.
I remember. I don't know if was that Shogun? I forget who it was. It might have been Shogun. We'll have to look it up.
Yeah, but that punch. Oh my god! You're right. Bisping really hasn't been the same since.
He has yet to recover, in my opinion.
Well, and a lot of fighters do that once they get knocked out hard. Excuse me, like get their lights put out. They're just not the same. I mean, look at Roy Jones Jr. was much the same. Crazy, flashy, really great fighter, and then one day he just got fucking solid put out, and it changes. And it changes your physiology as well. I mean, you're technically easier to knock out after that. The more times you've been knocked out, the easier it is to knock you out.
Ask Chuck Liddell.
Yeah.
Same deal. Same deal. So that was the event last night as I saw it.
I'm very excited to see TJ Grant continue moving forward.
Well, he gets a title shot now. He gets to fight Benson Henderson.
Yes, he does. That's going to be great. Imagine how packed the place is going to be that night.
TJ, local boy from Cole Harbour, fighting for the title.
Gonna be nuts.
The Sidney Crosby of MMA.
Yeah, people are gonna burn down the Oasis. It's gonna be great.
And I mean, like Roger Hollett was there last night watching TJ, and he fought last week on the UFC on FX.
Yeah, I mean, you got to support your training partners, right?
I don't think they train together. They're buddies, like they're friends. But man, like Roger Hollett had more hype about him than TJ ever did. Well, even now,
that's the
Roger
beauty of
Hollett
TJ
has
Grant.
more. Roger Hollett has more hype around him than TJ does, and TJ's about to have a title shot.
Yeah, and I like that though because he's kind of the dark horse. He's from a
that's
really
fair.
small area.
But it also plays to because Roger Hollett's father was a famous boxer,
right?
So it's kind of like a like father like son kind of deal.
It's more expected of him kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's like he's
like a legacy.
It's in the blood, it's in the genes. It's like this is what he was born to do, that kind of thing. There's been a couple of articles posted on some MMA websites and some publications that are bang on about Roger and his training regimen, and he wants to be the best, and he takes everything like if I lose, I lose, but I'm not going out without a fight, right? And that's
the only attitude you can have as a fighter.
Agreed. And there's a lot of fighters that when they face some serious adversity, they have no response. He plows through it. He might get knocked out or beat down or whatever. He doesn't care though. He just keeps going.
I mean, a lot of fighters let that one knockout change them because they think they're untouchable or they're just not used to it or they're not strong enough to handle it. They don't train for it.
I saw Roger fight locally at the Forum on one of the early ECCs, the Extreme Cage Combat.
Right.
And he fought a guy way taller than him, big tall black guy from Quebec somewhere. His name Francis, I think his name was, and it was a 23-second knockout. Buddy came out, threw a jab. Roger came underneath, uppercut. It was over. 23 seconds.
Beautiful.
It was ridiculous, and that was we're looking at like 7-8 years ago now.
Well, it's look where that got him.
Well, that's what I mean, like to see where he started and see where he ended up, like that's awesome. And I mean nothing's been decided. There was some rumors that if he lost this fight he was gonna get the axe from the UFC, but nothing official yet. I'm really hoping he gets another shot.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can always climb that ladder back up. The UFC, they're in need of fighters most of the time. I mean, they've got a lot of guys just dominating their division, so they just need people to throw at them.
But that's not entertainment.
No, it's not. But let's not kid ourselves. The UFC will just throw people into fights for the sake of being able to put on a pay-per-view every month.
There's some truth to that.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on from the UFC.
Yeah, I'm really interested to hear what you've thought about the Xbox One release.
For those of you that don't know, Microsoft,
yes,
just announced the next
Xbox.
It's called Xbox One because it's an all-in-one entertainment system. Live television, social media, Skype, Twitter, the works. Internet access, like Internet Explorer.
It's got a toaster.
On top of what an Xbox does, which is game and like all the video on demand features and all that kind of stuff that people have come to love about Xbox, Xbox Live, all that stuff. But they went all out. I watched the whole hour
the
release video.
Yeah.
I watched it this morning, actually. When I woke up. That was what I did before I did anything else.
Too bad they forgot to include a section on gaming.
The last 15, 20 minutes were all about the games.
Yeah.
But when you're Microsoft and people are waiting to see about the games, you leave those till last.
Yeah. Right? It's at this point, it's a multimedia box that plays Call of Duty.
That's pretty much what they announced, yes.
Yeah.
But they also said that they were going to focus on the gaming side of everything at E3.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, really, because they don't want to get, like...
Well, they're going to
E3,
need to.
a lot of, like, PS4s coming out.
Well, traditionally, that's what
this
E3
year.
was. I mean, the Electronic Entertainment Expo is about gaming, more or less.
But with PS4 coming out...
Yeah, they're going to need something to present.
They need something that's going to...
Versus PlayStation 4.
Exactly. Like, you can't show all your cards and then show up at an expo and get blown out of the water at E3. You just can't.
True. But they've done so much.
But they did... The Halo live... the live-action television
being
series...
produced by Spielberg.
Spielberg.
That's fucking huge.
I know.
actually.
Like, imagine Band of Brothers in the Halo universe.
Yeah. That's
Fucking amazing.
That's pretty interesting. I'm looking forward to that. Although
Forward Unto Dawn was amazing.
Yeah,
Forward
Unto Dawn. I actually watched Forward Unto Dawn just a couple of weeks ago. I was really
fantastic.
Impressed. Really impressed.
Fantastic. Really well written.
Yeah.
Really well written. And that was the other thing that they played up on the Call of Duty Ghosts, is that it's written by the guy that wrote Traffic and the guy that wrote Syriana.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Not a big fan of the series anymore, though. I just stopped being able to care.
Well, that's the thing about this one is they've changed everything. They said that this is like a series reboot. Like it doesn't follow the storyline of any of the other Call of Duties.
Which was third world country gets their hands on a nuke, possibly detonates nuke. You stop them. I've just summed up every Call of Duty game.
Every Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every other Call of Duty was World War II, run around in trenches and shoot stuff with your rifle that only has 5 bullets.
Oh, and then Black Ops was zombies and communists.
Right. Right.
But the Xbox release, I mean, it's got more or less the same hardware as the other systems. I think the big winner is AMD, who designs the video cards for every fucking system that's coming out.
But the textures and stuff that they were showing were ridiculous.
Nothing impressive. I mean,
compared to what we have now for video gaming.
I've been focusing on PC gaming. PC gaming has looked that good for the last 2 years.
if you can afford to build a system for it,
which not all that much compared to the pricing of these new systems.
Dude, they're like brand new. They're like $600.
I know, and you can build a gaming PC for maybe $8.
A little more than that if you want it. If you want the graphics to be like...
Nope. You can build a computer for about $800 with a quad-core video card.
Yeah, but then
Easy.
you have no hard drive space and...
Oh, hard drive space is cheap as dirt these days.
But I mean, there's no RAM. Like, RAM is what's expensive.
No, fuck, it's not.
To get the good quality RAM?
Yeah.
And the amount that you would want
8
for
gigs
a gaming?
to 12 gigs. I mean...
Ridiculous.
It's not
that's the other
nearly
thing
ridiculous.
is the Xbox has 512 megabytes of RAM.
Yeah.
Xbox 360.
Oh, wow.
The Xbox One is going to have 8 gigabytes.
Yeah. Which
That's 16 times more.
Well, any computer that you get out of the box is going to have 8 gigs of RAM.
That's not necessarily true.
Mine's got 16.
Yeah, but you have an iMac.
I know.
That's...
I bought an extra 8.
Yeah.
It's... I mean, we're going...
But that's an iMac.
Yeah.
They come built properly.
No,
most PCs get built like, here's your $300 PC.
Yeah, it's garbage.
Yeah. Thank you, HP.
For the fucking amount I paid for this iMac, it better be able to
that's
run
the thing.
top-of-the-line things.
People who want to buy quality thing or have quality things will pay quality price.
But building your own computer, like to put the extra time into it and actually soldering the pieces together and putting it all together. That's where you're saving a lot of money.
What's a huge advantage to me for like the way that I use my media center? I have a laptop hooked up to my computer right now.
It's because you use it as a media center, and that's kind of something I wanted to touch on too, because it's got no backwards compatibility. None of your Xbox games are going to be...
The 360 games will work.
No. No backwards compatibility.
That's what they said. And one somewhere on their website. Anyway, I'll look it up after.
This big fiasco about used games as well. How games are going to be tied directly to Xbox Live accounts. And if you wanted to lend me a game, I would have to pay for it when I install it on my hard drive. So they're trying to cripple the used game market, which is dirty.
It's dirty, but you can see their point, right?
No, it's fucking ridiculous. It's moving towards this weird attitude that to curb piracy, we are no longer allowed to own things that we buy. and do with them what we please. I buy a game, I want to lend it to my friend, or I want to go over and play multiplayer, or I want to whatever. It's mine to do that with. I can do that. That shouldn't be a problem. But to say you bought this game, you get to use it, no one else. That's fucked up.
That's getting into a whole...
That's way too far.
That's not a Microsoft problem. That's a gaming industry problem.
But
because PlayStation is doing the same thing with PS4.
No, they're not. No, they're not. They're not. There's going to be no security as far as used games go. That was something they really touched on because where they went kind of in the direction of being a multimedia machine with the PS3. They're kind of flipping the script and going full-on gaming with the PS4, where Xbox is focusing more on the media side of things. So it's almost like they switch places this generation, which is kind of strange. And it's going to make for a really weird dichotomy, as if PlayStation and Xbox users didn't have enough to argue about.
True.
And I get to kind of stand back on the sidelines being like, what the fuck?
I've always been a fan of Xbox, not Microsoft. I fucking hate dealing with Microsoft. Everything about Microsoft just irks me inside. But the reason I love Xbox over PS3, which I own both, the graphics, everybody says the graphics are better on a PS3.
They are.
The games are shittily made on a PS3. Games on a PS3 versus the same game on an Xbox, I'll take it on the Xbox.
Well, it's because most of the time games are created on the Xbox hardware because the developer kit is a little easier for them to deal with. Now that people have kind of been able to tap into the hardware of a PlayStation, games designed specifically for the PlayStation look better and whatever.
Which is fine.
And run better.
But I'm just saying, like, head-to-head, the graphics, it's almost a non-issue. They look equally good.
Well, because in the past, the PlayStation 4 was less developer-friendly.
HD LED television, which is pretty much the best you can get without being 3D. And they look
the
same or
essentially identical.
Yeah, or better on Xbox, in my opinion, because... and the other thing I like about it is Xbox Live versus PlayStation Online. I like to have to pay a fee because it weeds out at least some of the assholes.
Have you ever been on Xbox Live?
Yes, you get the 8-year-old whose mom paid for it.
What the fuck are you talking about?
But that compared to the wide open, it's just filters out a little bit. I find for some reason the matchmaking is better on Xbox. Plus, I am a Halo fan.
Using it.
I'm a huge Halo fan. Exclusive.
Fanboy.
It's exclusive to Xbox. So I love the universe. I love the story. I love everything about it.
There's going to be a lot of that this next generation. Exclusivity for Xbox and PlayStation. They seem to both be...
FIFA 14, exclusive to Xbox.
Oh, and here's another fucking awful thing. In the past, EA has been doing a lot of... they have online passes for their sports games. Mm-hmm. And that, again, was to curb used game sales. And they announced that they were doing away completely with online passes. But then they immediately went and announced that they're partnering exclusively with Xbox, and Xbox is going to have those restrictions. So essentially they said, we're doing away with all these online passes and all the stuff you don't like, only to pass the bill to Microsoft, who's like, you can only use this game on your account. And you need to, that's going to be your unique identifier, and you have to pay for things, and like that.
But okay, going back to the media center side of things, getting away from the gaming, because the gaming is we can argue about it all day.
But which is a problem for me though, because as someone who grew up as a gamer, seeing all these gaming systems come out, and to have people come out and say, well, let's not talk about the gaming. The gaming isn't what matters. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's kind of what it is.
No, I mean, I just want to talk about the other side of the coin for the Xbox One, which was, like I said, the media center side of it. The watching live television through your Xbox without having to swap. Like,
I don't even have cable. I don't give a fuck.
And well, I do. I watch because live sports is huge for me. The whole fantasy team
football thing,
fantasy football.
Yeah, that I almost posted on your wall that day because I was like, this is just like somebody fucking had Adam in the focus group being like, what do you want? And just like They have a checklist of like, well, we're gonna have to throw that in because Adam's really gonna want that. You know?
It's true though. Like it was almost like that entire presentation was catered to me.
Yeah,
And
you like sports.
I love sports. I love the media center capability. The whole like the ability to vocally command my Netflix or movies or whatever.
Yeah, and I mean, you're not huge into gaming like a lot of other people are. I mean, you game.
I
but
game.
You're not,
I'm a casual gamer.
Yeah,
I'm not a power gamer.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm a casual gamer. I love to game. When I have time, I game.
Yeah,
But
you're not gonna play like RTS puzzle games, or you're not gonna play a lot of like arcade games, or
like I think arcade games are what I play more than anything else.
Yeah, well,
Like I play the Xbox Live arcade games all the time, the pinball and all that stuff.
Right.
You know, like just because it's like quick games that you can get into and out of really quickly without committing. Like I don't know how long I have, so I'm just gonna play a couple quick games. Like that's what I love about the arcade stuff. And as a casual gamer, that works for me. Whereas I do want the ability to, like, if I have a couple friends come over, everybody grab a controller, let's fucking kick some alien ass in Halo.
What about the fact that the Kinect is always on and people can Skype you and just like jump into your living room and be like, hey, what did you just see that fucking touchdown? What up?
That's amazing to me.
I know, but it could make for some awkward situations.
Well, I mean, there's always the ability to like Skype, sign out.
Also, something watching my living room at all times is kind of creeping me out. That's a little too 1984 for me.
And that's going to bother a lot of conspiracy theorists.
Well, and
I'm on board.
It's not
because
even
I realize what the technology is being used for.
It's not even conspiracy theorists. I was reading an article recently that the FBI and like the major government organizations have essentially gone to a lot of engineers, software designers, things like that. And they're looking to pass into law legislation that says all of these engineers have to put in a back door for government organizations to just be like, hey, we want access to that person's whatever electronic communication device. What's the back door? Like, how do we get in? And it's just like for them specifically. And to me, that freaks me the fuck out.
You're like, I understand why they would want that, but at the same time, you're encroaching on civil liberty.
Yeah, exactly. And to have that thing in your living room, knowing that, and hacking has always been a problem, although maybe not so much this time around. Although I think Skyping with people when you play online might be a little interesting. I mean, that is the direction we're going with FaceTime and all that junk.
Yeah, that I'd be interested. Can you like they showed it and demoed it like watching a movie and watching TV that you could. What they call that? Snap to or snap?
Yeah. You can essentially.
But will that work with games?
Oh yeah. You can be playing a game and go back into your Xbox menu, and then just jump right back into the game, almost like pausing something on your phone. Like if I'm playing pinball on my phone and I go back to the home screen, I can just jump right back into the pinball game exactly where I left off. It just pauses it while still running it.
Yeah. But my question is like, you know how like the screen shrank and then the sidebar came up, the snap to? Mm-hmm. Not going back to the homepage, but will I be able to be like gaming in Halo and like, oh look, I got a call. Skype, answer call. And then it comes up on the side and I'm like, what's up, man? And I can keep playing.
I'd say very likely that's the
like,
case.
I'm curious, like it'll be the little things that I'm curious about.
And how it's going to run as well, because I feel like doing all of those things at once, you know, performance might suffer a little bit because the processing power required to run all those things all concurrently it might be a little different.
That said, this unit is literally going to be 16 times faster.
Yeah, but again, that kind of power is going to be coming standard on pretty well all platforms.
But I'm just saying, with what the Xbox can do, the Xbox 360 can do now, 16 times faster, I don't think that you're going to have that big performance lag.
Well, like I said, my iMac runs on just about the same thing, and it still crashes from time to time. It still pauses. You know, shit still freezes. It happens.
My laptop here is like 6 years old. Or more.
And we're recording on it right now.
We're recording on it right now while using Skype is open, Ustream for broadcasting purposes, and we're running the internet.
Flips table.
Yeah. Take that, Microsoft.
Fuck
$300 piece of shit computer.
So yeah, I don't know. It should be interesting. I'm just gonna sit back and keep playing games on my Steam account and my iMac until I decide what I'm gonna actually throw a massive chunk of money at this time around.
Yeah, and I'm leaning very much towards the Xbox One, and again, it's because I love the Halo universe. I'm not willing to give that up.
And I'm leaning towards PlayStation. Because I don't have to pay a monthly fee for the online portion, so I can use Netflix, which was a huge hindrance to me because I love Netflix.
I love Netflix too, and I use it through my computer.
Yeah, I know. Well, but
I use it through my Xbox because I have Xbox Live.
Yeah, but having to pay to use a paid service, I don't know. That was too much for me. 2 paywalls is too many. But with the PlayStation as well, the focus on gaming, and really that's all. That's I can use it as a media server, I suppose, but
I think when the Xbox One launches, I think I'm going to sell my PS3 and my Xbox 360 and buy one.
That's a good plan.
That's
sell all the things. I need to buy a TV still. Son of a bitch. I gotta find a cheap TV somewhere.
Yeah.
One of these days.
One of these days.
How we doing for time there,
We're working towards the end, man.
Yeah, we just
went off.
Really divisive.
Between the UFC and the Xbox talk.
It's what we love.
We basically, that was a half an episode.
That's what I love, though. I mean, those are the kinds of things I could talk about all fucking day.
Agreed. So I guess to recap, watch the Mooseheads tonight. Grand Parade is available if the weather's pissy, or if you like beer, because they don't serve beer at Grand Parade. Oasis is showing.
You might get in trouble if you bring your own.
Yeah, or bring in your rum in a Coke bottle like I did last time.
I can't do that. I'm on parole.
So, Mooseheads game tonight, 8 o'clock. Cheer on the Moose. Go, Moose, go. And,
should bring a moose call. Annoy the fuck out of people.
Awesome.
You think I would get kicked out of the Oasis for that?
No, probably not.
Sweet.
There's going to be enough Moose fans there that you'll be alright.
Cool. I'm in.
Yeah. So that's happening. Other than that, check out Oh My Lanta, their new video podcast. Also, Everyone's Famous.
Yeah?
Keep up with that shit. What else did we talk about today?
Mostly the UFC and the Xbox. Tell us your thoughts on the Xbox versus PlayStation debate, because that's always a wonderful can of worms to open up.
And that can mean Xbox 360 versus PS3, or the potential launch of the two new products, PS4 and Xbox One.
Microsoft versus Sony, whatever. I mean, how do you game? Let us know.
Sony. I always take Sony over Microsoft.
Agreed.
The problem is Xbox is a better product, in my opinion. It just has more of what I want as a casual gamer that loves to... Like, when I play a game, I want it to be good. So I don't want to give up the quality.
Speaking of which, we shortly mentioned the capabilities for the Fantasy Football League.
Oh, yeah.
Now that is actually a thing, I'm thinking more and more that I want to actually take the Fantasy Football League pretty seriously this year.
Well, and it's a bigger buy-in. By the way, if you want to join, if you're in Halifax and you want to join a Fantasy Football League with some, like, it's going to be a 12 or 14 team league, depending on how, like, what the interest is. And you want to have some fun this year with the NFL, let us know. Post something on our Facebook page, or you can tweet us at It's On Halifax. That'd be nice to know. You can tweet myself. I'm Mark Adam HFX.
Pat King HFX on Twitter.
And this guy,
Halifax Lex.
Meow. Of all the times you meow, you choose to now not to, jerk. Anyway, this is my cat. He has his own Twitter account. Right, Pat?
Yes, he does.
That happened.
He's a very profound tweeter as well.
Also, she's not here, but you can follow our controller, Emily, EMJHFX. So, MJHFX. She's away this week, but hopefully we'll be back next week. And we're going to have ourselves a good day while we watch some movies and drink some beers.
Word up.
See you next week.
Now you do it. Fucking jerk.
This episode of It's on Halifax was brought to you by Maladjusted Media and Oasis on Spring Garden Road.